Tim Lantz, CEO of Avant Technologies. It's a pleasure to have you on today, Tim. How are you doing?
Doing great, Aaron. Thanks for having me.
For sure. So I'm excited to be talking about the company. Can you tell us a bit more about yourself and the company to start this off?
Yeah, absolutely. As you mentioned, Tim Lantz, the CEO of Avant Technologies. Um, fairly new to the role, but I spent a lot of my career in technology and big data, um, mostly in the healthcare sector, but did cross over a little bit into some other areas like sports and entertainment and manufacturing as well. Avant is a really exciting company. It's a pleasure to be involved at this point. The company was one of the first to market back in the kind of 2015, 2016 timeframe with a generative AI similar to a chat GPT. And as we kind of went on our AI journey, we noticed that there were a lot of headwinds facing AI companies. In my prior roles, I've experienced a lot of those headwinds personally. And so the company, as we've grown, has chosen to shift away a little bit from kind of market-facing AI and really focus on delivering a best-in-class turnkey infrastructure to help companies that are running AI or building AI or doing large data analytics, large data transactional processing, be able to run their businesses more efficiently, more effectively, and with a better environmental footprint.
So let's talk about your recent news. The company just announced that it has entered into a co-development agreement to create high-density compute infrastructure and supercomputer network software. Can you tell us more about this and what it means for the company?
Absolutely. Yeah, we're very excited about the partnership with Wired for Tech. As we've again kind of gone on our AI journey and decided to move more into the infrastructure side of life, that comes with obviously a lot of innovation, a lot of research and development. And we knew that we wanted a partner to be able to go on that journey with us and be able to help us not only lend their experience and their expertise and combine that with ours, but also to be able to bring our new product lines to market faster. And Wired for Health has, or Wired for Tech rather, has deep experience in that across a variety of industries, and including healthcare, including security and other things. And so we thought they were a great partner, and they have that deep experience both on the infrastructure side in terms of hardware system design, but also on the software development side. And so it was able to allow us to work with one partner and look holistically at our solution and where our product line is headed, and be able to consolidate some of that into a single partnership for development.
Sounds like a win-win. So innovation is often at the core of a successful tech company. Can you share how Avant Technology stays ahead of the curve in terms of technological advancements and innovation within your industry?
Absolutely. I've always found that innovation really starts with a culture, right? In my experience, in my career, no matter how much you're doing in technology, it all starts with people. And I think at our core, Avant is a company that was born out of innovation. So one of our co-founders, our technology co-founder, who's still with us, Danny Rittman, was doing innovation work with Intel. He was doing then innovation work with IBM as they were, kind of building and developing Watson, which is probably, arguably the most prolific AI that has been around the longest in large-scale commercial use. And so, the company really started on his vision to build a, better, smarter, learning AI. And we've kind of just continued on the trajectory for there and brought in people that are innovation oriented, both from a strategy as well as an execution standpoint. And, even partners like Wired for Tech, right, really come from a deep place of innovation historically. And so I think it starts, first of all, with the people that we bring on and that we partner with, and extend that to our company culture. And then from there, I think it's really about understanding the market. My son's a hockey player, and I play a little bit myself. And Wayne Gretzky had a great quote years ago when somebody asked how he scores so many goals. He said, "I don't skate to where the puck is, I skate to where I know the puck is headed." And so, we really invest heavily in understanding the market and looking not just, over the next 6 to 12 months, but really looking at trends that go beyond that, and make sure that we're, adjusting our trajectory and what we're doing from an innovation front into where we believe the puck is headed.
That's great. So, let's talk a little bit about the company's signature AI technology. So, Avant AI appears to be versatile with applications across various industries. Can you elaborate on how Avant AI is being utilized to address specific challenges or opportunities in different sectors?
Yep, absolutely. No, it's a great question, and I think one of the great things about Avant AI is that really it's where we started, and it's really what led us on this journey that we've been on for the last couple of years. Initially, Avant AI was really focused more on kind of B2B use cases, so looking at things like how to accelerate and drive, let's say, company financial analytics. Um, and we were looking at different applications of it for supporting like e-commerce businesses and startups, right, where a company that was looking to kind of grow and scale could kind of lend itself to our AI platform and be able to kind of reap the benefits of that as they brought their businesses forward. When COVID hit, right, we shifted a little bit, and actually did some work with Avant AI in the healthcare space, mostly around rapid training for diagnostics. So that was a little bit more, I would say, of a business to consumer use case that we prototyped. And at one point, kind of during the peak of COVID, we actually had almost 1 million online users of Avant AI, that were a lot of them geared towards trying to understand, based on their symptoms, what their diagnostic reporting was. Um, Today where we sit with Avant AI is we've kind of made the decision to pivot the company from commercially available AI into infrastructure on which everyone's AIs can run. We've made the decision to continue to leverage Avant AI, but in a slightly different way. So we're using Avant AI now and doing some development and refactoring work on it to help support improved data center operations within our infrastructure. So if you can imagine our infrastructure deployed in our data center and in someone else's data center, or even on premise for a customer, let's say maybe in as part of a smart building, which is a growing trend in construction, the AI would help automate and drive management of the infrastructure in terms of proactively looking at when an error is about to occur, maybe when maintenance is about to occur, when a part is going to go down, and be able to provide proactive mitigation strategies to keep uptime running and to kind of minimize maintenance costs. And we're also doing some work with Avant AI now on the data security side. And if you're following the news in terms of the biggest investors in building AIs, CrowdStrike is one of the big
Mhm.
AI players. I think they're in the top 10 now in terms of their investment, really geared around the information security front. And we believe that to have the best in class infrastructure, we also need to have, best in class security. And so that's another big application that we're tailoring Avant AI for now, is to help with that proactive security with people that are using our infrastructure and our hardware.
So the
Yeah.
company aims to shape how we engage and implement AI technologies globally. Can you discuss the company's global expansion strategy and any challenges or opportunities encountered in introducing AI solutions to different regions and markets?
Yeah, absolutely. Um, I think from an AI standpoint, and just as kind of background, I mean, my last position before coming to Avant, I was the president and COO of a global technology company in the healthcare space, and we used AI. It was originally a European company, but we operated in kind of at our peak about 27 different countries around the world, in several regions. I think AI is not a U.S. phenomenon. AI is a global phenomenon. Um, and where I really like the positioning of Avant from a global perspective is that the U.S. from a sort of regulatory standpoint, I think lags some other regions of the world in terms of the fervor around data protection. So if you go to Europe, and you look at what they've done with GDPR and how GDPR continues to get more stringent, and you look at the structures of how they actually assess individual liability to CISOs for data security challenges. I think outside of the U.S., there is a lot more demand for private cloud. I mean, there's a lot of demand for private cloud infrastructure in the US as well. Private cloud as opposed to public, right? As opposed to AWS or Azure or Google Cloud. And so we feel really strongly that there's going to be a great global expansion opportunity, and that the data security regulations in Europe, in the Middle East, and even in the APAC region actually support a really strong business case for how we're building the company and how we're growing it. And as I talked about the headwinds, I mean, some of the headwinds in AI development are really around cost, right? How do you sort of build an AI? Because it's very expensive to build, it's very expensive to train, right? It requires a tremendous amount of speed, storage, processing power, and legacy hardware, traditional hardware setups and data centers also consume a ton of energy, a ton of water, right? So you have a big environmental footprint. So I think one of the things that we're really excited about is if we can provide a better, faster, more environmentally conscious, more cost-effective solution on which to build and run AI and big data analytics, it's going to actually help all of those AI builders around the world to be able to get their AIs up and running, to be able to scale them in a cost-effective way and grow their businesses as well. So we really see ourselves as the enabler, right, or the supporter of the proliferation of AI and big data analytics in a global sense. Obviously, right now, at our size, we're heavily focused on the US market, which still comprises a pretty significant chunk of the market. If you look at AI alone in the US, it's a $15 billion industry just in the US right now. If you start to scale AI and private cloud and look at the global market, you're talking about a market that's right now approaching 200 billion annually. So very large market, and we want to focus first on the US. We have had some conversations where there may be opportunistic things for like large scale proof of concepts in specific areas on an international basis. So it's something that I think we'll remain open to in the short term if something really exciting comes along. But for now, we'll focus on the US market and and look at global expansion opportunities a little bit further down the road. But I think the market's going to be a great one, especially in those regions I mentioned.
Definitely. So looking ahead, what are the key milestones and objectives that Avant Technologies aims to achieve in the next few years? And how does the company plan to capitalize on the growing demand for AI technologies worldwide?
Yeah, it's a great question. So, short-term key milestones, obviously, we're moving in a different, slightly different direction from where we've been historically. And so we've done an exciting amount of development in, recent months. And I would say for kind of our initial go-to-market solution around our infrastructure, we're in what I would call last mile development. So obviously the big milestone for us is to got to be able to bring our new product line to market later this year, and then be able to really gather a lot of great comparative data on how clients are succeeding with us versus the traditional infrastructure that they were using in the past. And then from there, it's really about thoughtful expansion and accelerated growth. We have a kind of multi-tiered go-to-market strategy. I won't get into the details on this call. But I think there's some key segments we'll focus on. Obviously, research and education is a big one. Private cloud and kind of technology management is a big one. And then other areas where AI is really prolific, we'll try to focus on. So obviously smart construction, especially on the commercial side of construction, is really big and growing, and also transportation logistics. So there's a handful of industry sectors that I think are leading the way on the AI front, and so we'll focus our efforts there in terms of growth. And then as we get a little further on that route, we have some other exciting things planned, but I don't want to spoil the fun on all of that. But yeah, we've got several milestones, both short term and intermediate term, and then we have some really exciting long range plans. I would say are probably 1.5 to 2.5 years out as we start to kind of get our infrastructure out there into the market.
Well, thank you for sharing all that information. It was awesome learning about the company. I look forward to having you back on in the near future, and best of luck with everything.
Great. Thanks, Aaron. Really appreciate it.